What's good, YouTube? Philan Speaks back for another video. So anyway, a few days ago, the great Dawn Staley, the coach of the Gamecocks for South Carolina, was asked a question about who's leading in the rookie race between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And the only reason I'm making this video is because there's a big hoopla here. And it's coming from some areas, man, that I'm really disappointed in seeing, especially some of, like Dan Patrick. I'm not surprised at that. Dan Patrick is a media person who you never know with those media guys who they're in allegiance with and who has their, money, has their hand in their pockets. So you never know, like, when they answer these types of questions, whether or not they're being genuine or not, or whether or not they're paying attention or not. So, I'm not worried about what Dan Patrick had to say. But you have certain YouTubers, man, guys that I've picked on, like the Charge the Game, and then the other Fly Hippie. And the reason is, they're black guys. And I don't have a problem. I want to make this official. I'm not a bigot. Okay, I don't have a thing against just white people in general. All right. But I do have certain expectations of black people. I'm not going to lie. And I don't expect black people to, say, for example, pick Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark simply because Angel Reese is black and Caitlin Clark is white. That would be disingenuous. However, when I see a constant attack against Angel Reese, or constant putting down of her in order to prop up Caitlin Clark, I'm disappointed in black people when they do that, right? Because of the fact that they refuse to acknowledge that a good part of Caitlin Clark's fan base and support does boil down to race, right? First, there's a lack of acknowledgement of that, and then there is just this extra emphasis on disliking things about Angel Reese that happen to be things that are common with young black women, which leads to us believing that they have a problem with black women. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is just some advice. This is based on kind of experience and also studying the history of those who decide to go the route you're going. Two things are going to happen. Number one, in the end, I don't know if it'll be now. Don't know if it'll be a year from now, 5 years or 10 years from now. You will look back and regret it, because whatever it is you're trying to get out of it, out of going that route, it will not end in success. It will fail you at a certain point. It will fail you. Okay, and then number two, if in fact, because there's a couple of the brothers like that who go this route, who may genuinely feel like they're trying to help black people as well, ultimately. Some people believe, okay, I'm going to criticize certain elements of black culture and prop up certain elements that I think Caitlin Clark is about because I want black people to do better or be better. I actually heard this come from the mouth of someone. Right, there's two problems with it. Number one is the assumption that white culture is better, or somehow it's the apex, or somehow it's some example for us. That's problematic. And then secondly, let me tell you something. Now, this comes from my direct experience of dealing with inner city youth in different programs. I was a part of a program where we were trying to preach abstinence for young people in order to keep, black kids from going out there and making babies prematurely, catching diseases, all these types of things. I was part of an abstinence program, all right, trying to preach it. Let me tell you something about black youth. If you wish to get somewhere with black youth, or convince them, or teach them something, this is just a general rule. People are not susceptible to taking any advice from individuals who they don't believe have their best interests at heart. In other words, if you give off the impression that you don't like black people, or that you don't like black culture, or that you don't care about black people or black culture, they're not going to listen to anything you got to say. Like, for example, let me give you an example. If all of a sudden, like Jason Whitlock, right, with the reputation that he has, suddenly decided, okay, I want to give you some advice as a black person to help you, The majority of black people are not going to be susceptible to Jason Whitlock. Why? Because he has a reputation of constantly being belligerent, constantly berating, and all these types of berating, black people. So black people are not going to take things from him because he has the reputation of being the opposite. Same thing with like a Candace Parker. Candace Parker, if she all of a sudden say, I'm doing this because I love black people, no one's going to buy it. People are going to remember that Candace Parker sided with a police officer who sat on the back of George Floyd and was clearly wrong. You see, that's the way those things work. So that's just my advice to the brothers who do that, right? It's not that there's anything wrong with believing Caitlin Clark is a better player than Angel Reese. There's nothing wrong with believing she's the Rookie of the Year. However, when you establish a reputation of being a person that's constantly going to be berating and talking down on black people and black culture, and flip side, you're always praising white people and white culture, you're going to garner a reputation that is going to distance yourself from your own community. You're going to take on a reputation of being a person that is a self-hater because you're black. When you talk about black women now, you actually came from a black woman. If you have a sister, I'm sure she's black. If you have aunts, I'm sure they're black. If you have grandparents, I'm sure they're black. If you have daughters, they're going to be black. Right? So it's just a bad look, and it's just a bad way to go. But anyway, Dawn Staley's asked this question, and like I said, race aside, we're just going to talk about the Rookie of the Year race here. And this was her answer, and I'm trying to figure out what was the big hoopla.
You see Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, people are talking about like, these are the two Rookies of the Year. It's even some saying it looks more like Angel Reese right now. If you had to evaluate it from your perspective, who do you think is having that season,
Oh, so you're going to try to put me in the controversy, right?
No,
They both are having great years.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If I had to pick a Rookie of the Year at this time,
like today you had to pick,
it's Angel.
Yeah,
not a doubt. I mean, what she's been able to do with the double-doubles.
It's a streak.
But listen, the season is halfway through.
Yeah.
And Caitlin is coming.
It looks like she's just...
All right, so what I'm trying to figure out is what's the outrage? She's of the opinion that because Angel Reese, what she's done with the double-doubles, that however the season is halfway through and Caitlin is coming. But if she had to pick today, it would be Angel Reese. This outrages people. This calls for hate and all of that type of stuff, as if people can't have a difference of opinion. This is like the makings of fanaticism in any type of walk of life. When you have individuals who believe that there cannot be a difference of opinion, there can be no other way to look at something. That's very dangerous, and it's fanaticism. Here, this is just a difference of opinion, right? When you look at the stats of the players, because people like hard stats, the hard stats are comparable. Caitlin Clark averages a little bit over 2 points more. A little bit over 2 points more. Whoop-T-friggin' do. It's not like Caitlin Clark is averaging 25 points a night. And then Angel Reese averages more rebounds. She's double-digit rebounds. And for a big part of the season, I got to check to see if she's still leading in rebounds because Asia Wilson has been like boarding her behind off. Right? So she's either 1 or 2, but I know for a certain time she was 1. And then I also believe that Caitlin Clark just recently became... I think she just recently passed Alyssa Thomas for assists. So, if it both checks out, both rookies are having amazing years in that they are both leading the league in a particular category. And I think that should be acknowledged on both sides. You can dislike Angel Reese all you want, but you should acknowledge that's an amazing thing to be leading in a category. And the same thing for Caitlin Clark. You should acknowledge that she's leading in a category. People should be at least fair enough and to acknowledge that.
Ramping up.
Oh, Caitlin is coming. I have to pick today is Angel.
Yeah.
But over the course of...
You got a lot more ball to play. Yeah.
Yes. I say this. Whatever team makes the playoffs, that's our Rookie of the Year.
All right. So she says whatever team makes the playoffs, that's the Rookie of the Year. Whichever team has the higher seeding. That is as fair as you can get because at the end of the day, it's about winning and impacting winning. We're not even going to get into who has a better team, which I do believe Caitlin Clark plays on the better team. I do believe that. I believe that team has their identity established, where Chicago is just vacillating between trying to establish their identity. They're in much more of a building phase than Indiana is. Indiana is probably closer to being where they need to be than Chicago is. Like, if you're going to honestly assess the whole situation. But it doesn't matter. I don't have a problem with her answer at all. Because actually, if she was asked this today and not a few days before, she might say Caitlin. Because now the Fever, I think, are up one whole game. Chicago's got a tough game against the Aces tonight. That's going to be tough. So they may be down almost 2 games to the Fever then. And I don't know who the Fever plays next, if they play anyone else before the break. So I don't see what the big deal is. But you got these brothers, man. You know, you out there making these channels. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, man, it's not the road you're going down. I'm just trying to tell you. It does not end in happiness. Right now, I get it. You got all these people coming to your channels. You're going to get mad views. You're going to get mad likes. And that's all you're into it for. I understand. I know I could have totally went a whole different route with my channel. I could have just completely suspended my true feelings and just went with, Caitlin this, Caitlin that. Every day I would probably have, maybe 10,000 subscribers now if I did that. Because that's the wave that's the Clark wave. But me, I got to be honest. I got to give my true feelings on how I see basketball. And also, even if I did go to Caitlin Clark route, I would not berate Angel Reese. I would not spend time talking bad about her. I would just talk good about Caitlin. Right? Because there's an aspect of it, there's a responsibility aspect of it that if you don't acknowledge, that's sad. So that's pretty much, man, all I got there. You know what I mean? Tonight, like I said, Chicago's got to take on the Aces. Boy. I saw a video earlier where guys talking about Angel has to beat Angel Wilson. No, she doesn't. Angel Wilson is on another level. She's in her prime. Angel Reese is a rookie. I just don't expect her to win that game. And the Aces are not a team that they wouldn't even lose. They're not going to lose to the Fever either. The Aces are just different. Unless you can catch them slipping, which is the most I could hope for. Even if Chicago was to win, it would be because you caught the Aces slipping, not because Chicago's on the Aces level. So we'll see. That game's tonight. And peace out.